Today's project, an electronics workbench, and an update on things we're doing and on our cat China.
Boom! RH here. Well, I'm here. Wanted to do a quick channel update. Things have been kind of crazy, so I haven't been posting any videos recently. I've been shooting videos, but haven't had the time to edit them. Yeah, other thing that happened is starting into fall in October, our cat China, we started seeing some problems with her, difficulty breathing and that, and we find out she was having congestive heart failure. And well, at one point we actually ended up having to take her in and put her under like observation. They had to give her some injections and stuff and keep her for a couple days. And we kind of figured that when she got on medication it would be like a human, that they could last a few years. Well, apparently with cats, once they start going downhill like that, it's a no bueno. So sadly, it got worse. After we spent buku bucks on a couple days there at the pet hospital for her, and she's just such a sweet cat. She's just amazing. I'm actually going to do kind of a tribute to her because Mrs. RH and I both learned a lot from that cat, and so I wanted to detail some of that and kind of show the slides of all the pictures we've taken over the last 10 such years with her. And yeah, she was quite amazing. But it got worse and got worse no matter what the medication was, and it kind of came to the point to where I decided I had to take her in and get her euthanized. That was really tough. I don't know what it is, why an animal can steal your heart like that, but they can, and so that's kind of made things different here, and that kind of took a lot of time and such earlier on. Other things, many things we're working on here. One is get our communications up to speed. And a lot of you need to be thinking about communications if you're serious about homesteading. Having communications capability is very important. And regular walkie-talkies really are very limited. I go so far as to say that they're garbage. I mean, the power levels are low. So communication distances are low. You have a very limited selection of channels. Not the best. You can pick up radios like the Baofeng radios, the UV5Rs, UV. There's a whole series of them. Some of these are only like 25 bucks. And they give you not only ham radio capabilities, which you need to get a license before you use it, unless it's an emergency situation. But they have the full FRS radio bands. They have a weather band. You can pick up on marine communications. You can pick up on unencoded police and fire department. You can use it as a scanner for those. So even FM radio over it. So it picks up a number of bands. Those are very inexpensive. We'll be doing a series on that and a little bit about communications. Working to get some antennas set up, getting the equipment, like I was always showing a couple radios that I got from my parents. Unfortunately, I can't get them to work right. So I got to play around with that. Well, they've been sitting in storage for 15 years, something like that. Okay, we're up here in the pole barn, working on an electronics bench. So I've been trying to get this sucker done. There's just been a lot of things to be handled lately.
So I already got my regular workbench over here. It's going to be more for mechanical, larger things. But I've got a number of electronics projects that I'll be working on. Some Arduino controllers, a number of security type items with some microcontrollers. So I wanted to have a dedicated bench for that. So that's how this was born. So anyway, here's the bench. It's all made out of items I had around here. Well, I can't say all. There's some plastic on top that's not, and some screws, but everything else. This cabinet here, any of you that have worked in food service might recognize one of these. You might have put your buns in there one time or another. So here's my bench, messy as it is. And this is the son of bench. This is another bench, yes. This is for electronics. You get my ham radio set up in here, battery charging station, yeah, and a little work table for doing some electronics work. Now I can set everything out and be doing it. So right now I'm working on the part that'll hold the table. Here's the upper clips. I'm using a bunch of aluminum. This is like a scrap piece I'm using just for measurement purposes. This was from a porch, aluminum porch we had that got blown off in a storm when we had winds of about 120 miles an hour. Just tore it right off the house and blew it hundreds of yards up the way. Just ripped it right out of the concrete. But anyway, a lot of the posts, I was able to take them and salvage them, and I'm using them here in this. Very nice extruded aluminum. About ready to assemble this end piece. Here's the feet I use. These are some really amazing cherry wood. Choke cherry, and extremely dense. Yeah, it grew very slowly. It was on the side of a hill in a certain way that these limbs, somewhere around 40 rings going across there. So very dense stuff. In fact, when you clack them together, it sounds like you're clacking together two rocks. So that's going to be kind of nice for the feet on it. Kind of rounded them off here, so it would be kind of round on the bottom. And if I needed to adjust it slightly, I could always grind off the bottom, sand it a bit. These are screwed in on all of them. Okay, so there's the basic structure. Just like the joints, there's some extruded pieces that kind of sandwich in between. So they act like kind of like Lego block connectors. So that's all throughout. Oh, on top of it, one of the reasons I made these rails so stout is there's an oak cabinet that fits over the top of this. Another thing that was kind of left over at this place, so I decided, this would be a good place to use it. All clamped up and nowhere to go. Got the top on the bench today. Took, it was actually a lot more of a procedure than I expected. Yeah, now it's all clamped up for the glue to dry. Yeah, I was using scrap pieces, so, you can kind of see from the edge here. So I had to add some pieces to get enough, but worked out. One of the things when it's really cold out, when I'm using caulking compound, I tend to like put it in a bucket of water for a while, let it warm up. Well, I don't think I'll be doing that with PL anymore. It's my favorite adhesive, PL Premium. Stuck it in there for like 10 minutes. Well, it's a cardboard tube. It's not like the other ones that are plastic. So be careful. Don't stick your cardboard tubes in the water. So it kind of crimpled up in the middle, and yeah, it's done. Okay, I got the electronics workbench done. Even with the acrylic on top. So I got to put a latch on the door here and install the 2-meter radio in there. Now I've got some electrical in. I've got the electrical there, so the back strip, and up here the power, and then for the lights there. Yeah, and this will be for another light later on. Simple latch. Okay. It doesn't have many slots in this yet, but I will be putting some other equipment in it. Right now I've just got a 12-volt battery, a trickle charger. The battery is supplying power to a ham radio here, a little 2-meter radio, which is an older unit that apparently has some problems, so I'm gonna have to deal with that too. Oddly enough, its counterpart has the same problem. So, the idea with the bench, this cabinet here is a warming oven. I don't know, it's more like a cooling oven where they take something out of the oven and pop it in here. I like the little slots. This was left here on the property. I actually have 3 of them from the previous owner here. He was in food service. I think he owned a Bob's Big Boy up in Spokane, from what I gather. So, yeah, some interesting things he left that I'm making use of. So I thought that would make a nice cabinet. I can slip different kinds of test equipment in there. Even left myself, made a kind of a porthole here on the side where I can have some equipment pointing out in this direction, like power supply and such. Now I haven't gotten this configured yet. Got some more tools just for this bench, which I'll be hanging up on the back wall. Also a display screen, because working on the computers, also I'll need a computer here. So I've got an old computer I'll put down underneath it, but I will have to pick up a display for it on top. And I have a network connection that actually, even though I'm in the pole barn, I've got a special network connection that goes over to the house that this will be wired into as well. Now here's something some of you may not have seen. Some of you new guys, whoa, what's that with a needle on it? That's called an analog meter. Ooh. Yeah, they were pretty cool back in the day, and I kind of still like the to see the needle wiggle on certain things. It's gives you a little better representation at times of low-speed signals than watching a blur of digits on a digital meter. So they're still kind of handy. You have a digital meter over there, but I will be looking to get some different equipment as I gear this thing up. And it even has some storage kind of in the back here, but see a little space in the back. I'm in the process of trying to get all my electronic little parts bins taken care of. I took them all apart, cleaned them, painted the housings on these, but now I need to clean out each one of the drawers and relabel them. All the old labels have fallen off or gotten so bad you can't read them, so I need to relabel everything, get them on there, and get these things taken care of. Oh, it's so nice to have my equipment back to where I can get to it easily. Or I've got some of these things boxed up, some empty ones, full. Lots and lots of parts. Various videos coming up and projects, and hopefully these projects won't end up looking like a shipwreck. Alright here, hasta la proyecto.